What's going on, everybody? This is the Stormy Poet coming to you live from my apartment. Yeah, I don't really ever go anywhere interesting. But anyways, very glad you could join me tonight. Hope you're good wherever you're at. Hope you're well. Especially around this time of the year, I like to ask everybody, how are you feeling? So I want you to ask yourself that, kind of do some self-inventory, make sure you're feeling all right. Very tragically, not to end things off on a sour note, to begin things on a sour note rather, but my neighbor, a couple weeks back, I haven't really made a big, display of it, or I haven't really put it out there like that, but my neighbor actually committed suicide, and man, that was heavy, man. That broke my heart for sure. And I do know that this time of year a lot of that goes on, so if you see somebody, anybody you care about, whether it's a family member or a friend or a coworker, just ask them how they feeling. My uncle actually committed suicide around this time of year, so this is a really tough time for a lot of people, dealing with the holidays and not feeling wanted or cared for. But even just, I would even argue that, the holidays kind of encourage people to put on this fake facade, and so everybody's kind of, happy and chipper, but they're really not happy and chipper. And then a lot of people that's going through some things kind of see that, and they just kind of like, well, why ain't I happy and chipper? And, I don't feel that way. I'm not about to front and be fraudulent with mine. But, the thing about it is they, they feel like they can't really come to anybody and say, hey, man, I feel like crap right now. I'm broke. Damn job ain't treating me right. I mean, my gosh. I don't feel happy at all. This stuff I'm seeing, so nobody cares, so I'm out. Word up. Anyways, very glad you could join me tonight. And where I was going with that is just, man, just do some self-inventory. I ask other people, most def, but also ask yourself, how do you really feel? Like, honestly. Word up. But anyways, I'm going to get into tonight's topic. I'm not wasting any more time. Tonight I wanted to talk about something that I wouldn't say it's a new phenomenon. I would just say it's a phenomenon that's occurring because of a number of different factors. But the idea behind it, that's been around since forever. But what I wanted to talk to everybody tonight about is something I was discussing with a colleague of mine, Amelia, aka Mimi. The sister is a poet, a very talented poet, one of the most talented writers I've ever had the pleasure of associating with. And we were chopping it up a couple of nights ago, and she was telling me a story about a dude who is she lives in H-Town. I live up, here close to Dallas. I was born and raised in Dallas, but she was telling me about a guy from Dallas who was a rapper who was chopping it up with her. They were having a discussion about hip-hop and rap and poetry and all things literary. And she said that, during the conversation, they were chopping it up, just talking about just the art form and all the dynamics of it. And randomly, this brother, he didn't even lead into it from what she told me. He didn't even kind of ease into it. But he kind of sends her a dick pic just out of nowhere. Now, I'm going to try to refrain from using that word because I try to keep these as clean as possible. I don't, even if that's what it is, I want to keep it PG so that everybody can listen to it, and I try not to cuss, but I'm human. So I'm just going to refer to them as D-pics. So he sent her a D-pic just out of nowhere, randomly. And, you know, from different colleagues and, you know, from my different homegirls, I've heard of this occurring on multiple instances. And even her herself said that's not the first time this has happened. So we were chopping it up and having a discussion about it and everything. And she asked me, why is it that so many dudes like to send me pictures like that, or send me these you know, disgusting ass pictures? And, you know, what's the phenomenon behind that? Like, what's the reasoning behind that? You know, do they think that the women are just gonna be like, oh my gosh, I totally want to sleep with you right now, type of situation, or what? You know, like, they can't possibly think that could work because it's probably never worked, and it has never worked. There's never going to be a situation, fellas, where you send a girl a picture of your genitals and she's just going to fall head over heels in love with you and want to sleep with you. That has never worked in the history of man ever. Well, I wouldn't say ever, but, you know, situations like that where a woman's willing to do that just because you sent her a picture of your genitals, she's probably trying to get some paper out of you. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother night. But the thing about it is, and you know, she was asking me this, and I kind of know the answer to that. I do know the answer to that. Is because, you know, I told her, I said, you know, it's not so much that a man thinks you're going to automatically sleep with him, or that you're going to just be turned on by it. Because honestly, men ain't really turned on by stuff like that too, so they know it's not going to turn you on. If a woman ever sent me a picture of her private, that's not sexy at all. I don't want a woman to send me that. Most men really kind of don't. They really don't want you to send them a picture of your stuff down there, so they know it's not going to turn you on. It's not necessarily to try to turn you on or try to get you to sleep with them. What that is that's just a new kind of form of flashing, basically. And that's why I was talking about, you know, technology has kind of made that more easy to do. When I was talking about, I just think the situation has changed. It's not so much that the mind frame has changed, or that there's this new phenomenon. It's always been like that. It's always been like that because, you know, back then you had the people flashing with them damn trench coats on, who would come with them trench coats and open they stuff up and show you they junk. You know, that's been going on for a long time. It's just now it's easier to do it. You can it's easier to do it, and you don't have to face really any kind of accountability. Like, you know, the laws ain't gonna come get you for sending a dick pic. You can go send a picture of your genitals, but, you know, you flash in the public, you know, somebody can call the cops and report your ass, and you got to go to jail for that, for public indecency. So this whole new phenomenon is not so much because of, you know, it's just this new kind of idea of misogyny. It's just the old way of thinking as far as, you know, living in a patriarchal society. It's just easier to kind of get away with this kind of misconduct and this degeneracy. So that's what it boils down to. So that's why he sent her the dick pic. It wasn't because of, you know, it's this new phenomenon or something like that. It's because, hey, there's always, you know, due to the way our culture functions, there's always been this kind of behavior. And the reason he sent you that wasn't to turn you on or anything like that. I mean, if it did, that would be a bonus to him. But that's not the reason he sent it. That's not his logic behind that. The reason why you got so many of these men sending pictures of their genitalia is because it's a kind of a control power, like a weird, sick, perverted power trip they get off of doing that. Just like the people who used to flash with the damn trench coats back when I was growing up. It's not so much that they expect it to turn you on. It's the idea that I showed you a picture of my genitals, or I showed you my genitals, and now you can't unsee it. You've seen my dick, whether you like it. I'm trying not to use the word, but you've seen my stuff, and now there's nothing you can do about it. You've seen it, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't unsee it once you've seen it. And that's kind of another way for men to kind of force themselves onto women. It's not forcing themselves onto women in the sense of it's, molestation or rape, even worse. But I forced myself onto you visually, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's kind of a power trip to a lot of perverted dudes. So due to the way our culture kind of functions, men, they know this. The society tells us this, especially the dominant society. The white supremacists, these people who make these films that are predominantly white, and this media that's predominantly white, they kind of push that narrative. Black men kind of follow in line with that due to assimilation and just the messages we've been taught our whole entire lives. So we kind of go along with that. But that's the deal, ladies. That's why men are doing this. It's because it's a really weird, sick power trip, and it's kind of a way that they have power over you. Or that they feel they have power over you. Then you see his genitals, and you like I said, you can't unsee it. It's very brazen and arrogant. It's very, I don't care about your consent or anything like that. I just showed you my dick. What you gonna do about it? And it just kind of gets men off in a really weird, sick, and twisted way. And like I said, most of these guys know that's not going to work. It's like the guys that you see who go to the woman's, they go on her Facebook or whatever, and they go comment on her picture on Instagram, and they say, "Oh, ma, you so fine, I would eat all that," and all that other. They know it's not going to work. There's a kind of a hope that it will, but a lot of these guys have no game or any kind of idea of how to talk to a woman or approach a woman. So they just throwing some stuff out there and seeing if it sticks. But a lot of the guys who make these really just BS comments are just like, "Oh, well, I made my comment and I can say whatever the hell I want without any kind of accountability and, deal with it." And if you protest, it's kind of like, you being a B word at that point. Kind of being a B. And same thing with the dick pics. It's just like, well, you didn't like this, then obviously you're a B or you're a lesbian. If you're not attracted to me, then you're either one of the two. I'm the logical one, you're the crazy one, and that kind of fits into the stereotype that women are crazy, illogical B words, and they can't make decisions not based on their emotions and all that other stereotypical crap. Word up. So, if a lot of you ladies are wondering why this is occurring, that's why. It's nothing new. It's not something new that's a new kind of way of thinking. Misogyny, our culture of misogyny has made it kind of an environment for that type of behavior to continue occurring, and it's going to keep occurring until we can really look at where that way of thinking kind of originated, until we can have an honest discussion about that, which was European males, aka white guys from back in the day. That's where this line of thinking originated. That's what it all goes back to, is that, and that kind of form of degeneracy. So until we're willing to have an honest discussion about that, this is going to be the norm, and that's going to continue to be how things kind of operate. And that's going to be the way it's going to be. And I would say, if we're talking, like, if we can, because, I don't like to present problems or, just complaints without kind of introducing or presenting some kind of a solution. As far as the solution to kind of this whole dick pic phenomenon, the best thing I can say, until we can start having a larger discussion, until we can start coming up with some kind of solutions for these problems as a collective, the best thing I can say is, really just kind of, ladies, I'm speaking to the ladies right now, before you even start talking to a guy on that level, and this is not always going to be a surefire way to kind of weed out the assholes. Man, I'm just cussing left and right. Forgive me, please. I'm sorry. But you get what I'm saying. I would say, if we're just talking about online, because that's where a lot of this is occurring, is through social media, before you even add a dude to your, if you're conducting business, Mimi was conducting business. Mimi is a very professional artist. She's on top of her game, and she's a hustler, and she is about her business. So this was a meeting type setting, and you're starting to see all these cases coming out of accusations of sexual misconduct coming out left and right. So that's not to say this can't occur in business kind of settings too, but I'm referring more to kind of like on a personal side online, and kind of in that format, as far as, the nude photos and stuff like that. So I would just say, in order to kind of be able to deal with this situation for what it is at this moment in time, I would say to the ladies, call dudes out on this stuff. And when you call dudes out on this stuff, say, look, and give some kind of context to the history of kind of misogyny. And in order to do that, you got to be versed in it. You got to know how the culture got to this point that was conducive of, producing this kind of behavior. You got to know how the culture got to that point to begin with before you can just challenge dudes on this nonsense. And it's gonna take a collective effort. In order to push forward a collective effort, everybody's got to get on the same damn page. And women got to understand, in order to change this, in order to kind of change this type of behavior, I got to get all on the same page. Men do too, and I'm trying to get other brothers on the same page. But what I mean by that is, we have to understand how the culture got that way in the first place. We have to really get an understanding of that and how it originated and what it's going to take to solve that. And if guys are sending you these really just disgusting photos, challenge these men and say, look, first of all, do you think this is going to work? Do you really think this is going to land a girl or going to get you a girlfriend? Like, seriously, when has this ever worked for you? More than likely never, and it never will. But if enough women start telling men this, it's men's job too to school each other, no doubt. But I don't get those type of pics, so there's never that opportunity for me to kind of call a dude out. But I do see dudes in these comment sections saying some hella disgusting crap. But anywho, enough women start calling these men out. They gotta start coming at things differently. You can't just ignore one woman and all her friends and her family. You can't ignore that forever. You gotta start listening at that point. And that's what I mean, is just once you challenge men and once men are challenged collectively enough, men will always respond to how they're challenged by women. Y'all just don't understand the power y'all have in that regard. Like, if it's just like I remember this. I used to have this. I can't remember. It was a health class. It was back when I was like in 10th grade, I believe. That's when I moved to Mississippi, and the dude was teaching about condoms and wearing condoms during sex, and the game men try to run on women into getting them to not use a condom, and the teacher said something I'll never forget. The teacher said, "Ladies, the man is gonna try to tell you whatever, and no, we don't need that. I'm gonna take it out and out of the nonsense that don't work." I don't have anything. I know I don't have anything. And he tried to run that old, a lot of men try to run that old nonsense. And he was talking about, man, they're going to try to run that on you. He said, listen, ladies, if you say you're not getting it unless he wears a condom, the man is going to, rather than not getting it, he's going to wear the condom. It might not be what he likes fully and completely, but he's going to put that on because it's better to get some than not get anything. I never forget that. And that was so real because, ladies, if y'all start checking these dudes and saying, look, no woman is ever going to give you any play with you acting like this, with sending this nonsense. I'm definitely not going to give you any play, and you're going to be alone the rest of your damn life because you don't know how to damn treat a woman. If enough women start saying this, men, we're going to respond, period. Y'all are awesome and we want y'all, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get y'all. Even if that means getting our damn act together. Most definitely, we gonna respond. If y'all say y'all gotta start wearing pink pants, it's just like Tupac said in that interview that one time. He said if you wanna make money, making music, make music that the women want to hear, and the dudes will buy your music because the men want what the women want. We gonna do what y'all want us to do. And I'm not saying, as a man, fully submit to the will of the women, or, just be on some emasculated type stuff. But I am saying that if y'all hold high standards to men, then we'll rise to the occasion. But it's got to be a collective effort. And in order to challenge men properly, you got to know what you're talking about. You have to be knowledgeable. No woman in this society has the luxury of not being versed in how misogyny works, how it's affected the culture, how it's been detrimental to romantic relationships, and all relationships, not even just romantic, friendships, family relationships, all of that. It's been detrimental. Business relationships, as you've seen in the news this past couple of months. It's been detrimental, all that. So you have to know the ins and outs of it. No woman has the luxury. No man has the luxury either. I'm not even just saying women, but definitely women, because it's projected to y'all the most. No woman has the luxury of not knowing, and y'all gotta start challenging these dudes collectively on their BS, like them sending you some D-pics. But anyway, that's been tonight's show. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time to check me out. Please, if you can, hit like on the YouTube video. If you're on my Facebook, please hit like and share. Share. Sharing is caring. Also, feel free to check out rootofalllove.com. I have my contribution link at the top of the page, at the bottom of the page, in the lower left corner. I'm just being silly. But feel free to click on that. I do have my subscription option up, so you can subscribe to either $2 or $5 a month. That's a cup of coffee a month. We go spend that on Starbucks all the time. I give away most of my content for completely 100% free. I just ask, can you help me out? Can you help me with equipment and being able to go on these platforms and really spit this knowledge? And I'll be honest with you, I want to do this for a living. I don't want to keep doing a 9 to 5. I want to do this for a living. I want to inform the masses and make the masses better with my insight. And I want to share my literary art with the masses. So please, if you could, if you also want to check out all my more entire body of work, please check out thestormypoet.com. Feel free to comment on everything. I love commentary. I love when people give their opinions and their likes and their dislikes. Feel free to let me know anything. I'll chop it up with you. But anyways, that's been this Levels of Love Tips episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Look forward to doing more and getting this information out to the masses. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, productive, constructive, and positive day. Peace.